ルフィ、私はあなたの決定に従うけど、海賊の同盟には裏切りがつきものよ。人を信じすぎるあなたには不向きかもしれない。
え、お前裏切んのか？
いや。やろな！ちった疑え！
Hello everyone, here for another video. Just testing out some Robin stuff, so I figured I'd go ahead and record while I was working on it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So where I am starting with this list is I really wanted to try to leverage this new Nami and see where we can get to off of the Straw Hat searchers. So the main Straw Hats I'm searching for are the Sanji and Usohachi for finishing the game, Robin and Nami for mid-game, kind of chaining stuff together. Obviously, Giant is searchable off of this, which is great. And then the top end here of Luffy as kind of a really tough body for them to get around. The main idea I'm going for is swinging with leader and ideally finding either the Sanji or we've got the Kuma or Robin in mid-game to try to establish an early body and burn some life and try to do our best to deny cards out of their life. And then setting up a Kid and sitting then behind Giant. One of the reasons I picked the cards that I did is that all of these cards here are compatible on the same turn with a blocker that all happen to be triggers. So that's pretty great. And yeah, let's just kind of jump in and see how it goes. All right, first up we have is a carrot. That's an interesting one here. I think I'm gonna opt to go second. Let's see, is this good enough? I think I'm gonna mulligan this because I don't have, yeah, this seems strong. We don't have anything to do on 2. On 4, we're probably gonna play out Sol and swing a 6, pitching this Brûlée for leader ability. Tashigi is unfortunate. We will just take this one, no trigger though. All right, so going through the plan, let's go a 6 here, discarding the Brûlée to gain arrested. I will say that in this list, I don't think it's incumbent on you to every turn do the, what's it called? The leader ability. Because your curve is pretty reasonable going second anyways, because you have a lot of 6s. And then just swinging pretty big on 4 is pretty reasonable anyways. And then 6 into 8 is a pretty good way to play it. Opponent plays out this carrot. They did it. No, I guess they did it in the order that they could. Let's see if they swing. Oh, if they swing at me, I'm definitely going to take here. Knowing that they can rest this Sol on demand, I think it is correct to probably swing with it. But I think we would really have liked to find a what's it called, a Sanji here. Don't know the correct way. I think we just need to swing. We're not going to ramp this time. And we're gonna play this Kuma. I think we're going to trash this Luffy because 8 plus GumGum is an option next turn. And then let's just go here. They have already taken one. I expect they're probably gonna be incentivized to take this one. So let's just see how it plays out. They are gonna just freeze with this carrot, which is reasonable. They won't have a good opportunity to rest this Kuma, which is great for us. So they are just gonna end up freezing the carrot. Depending on the order that they swing, I might take 2 or I might take 1. I don't want to catch myself in a spot where I don't expect things. So let's see how they choose to allocate their Dawn to make this work. All right, so they have Searcher. Oh, next turn we do have the access to Robin, plus some power here. What does you do? KO arrested 6 or less. That's fine. Because if they go after, they're going with a 5, so 5, 5, 7, or 5, 6, 6. I think it's probably correct to do this here. This being big enough to not be frozen by carrot means that it's probably fine to not get the value off the Robin here. They're going with the 6/6 route. I think I'm gonna take this one. I don't think it's correct to trigger that. No block, and let's give him the Frankie. Okay. So we're doing kid plus giant likely on our turn. So let's figure out where we can do swings that are most meaningful here. Let's go here. They will get to freeze this on a future turn. Let's see if they use the Pedro to get rid of the Sol. Or if they get rid of the Kuma and give me a life. Oh, they do. Oh, it's only on opponent's turn. Okay, I need to be aware of that. So we are going to trash their life. I think in that case, we're not going to be able to use this Nami. Having the second giant is useful, I think. We're in a reasonable spot. I think we have a stronger board than them by just a hair. Especially given that we can use GumGum Giant. Hody, okay. I guess that means they're trying to go for life here. Which I think we probably can survive with our 2Ks here. Oh, they opt... I think they maybe misclicked. Not... Let's use this. And then 8's a very easy GumGum Giant. And resolve. And then we take this off the Hody. Yeah. Yes, and we trigger this out. Perfect. All right. So how do we finish here? I think it is correct. We're gonna do it with Olvia. So how do we split? Olvia, these are both +2. So I have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 plus 5, 18 plus 9, 27. Which divided is... oh, okay. Our opponent packs it in. Yeah, I guess without stuff, I think we probably do get there. But our opponent probably did the math and they figured it out as well. All right, next game we have Yamato. This is a very... I'm going to mulligan here. We're gonna play out this Nami. Let's grab GumGum Giant. It's gonna be tough because we are definitely not in a great spot here. If our opponent wants to do 8 here, do I give him... I think I just give him 2Ks here. And then we play out the Brulee on our following turn. So we do Brulee. And let's actually do this. I think the Sanji to get around stuff is going to be more useful to us. If this blocker doesn't work, obviously we're taking here. Interesting. I'm actually tempted to take here. Yeah. Yeah, we get this trigger, no trigger, and then we can pick up a Frankie here. Monosuke. Okay, so they don't get anything into life. I think this is going to be good for us. We're going to rest that. We're going to go at lead for the 5. We're not going to ramp. And then we get to go here. Okay. Alright, this Brûlé is probably getting used this turn. Hody. Okay, yeah. This is an easy counter here. And then a 6. We have to counter this one because we need to take the next one. 10 there. Unfortunately, that's gonna work. We're on 8. We can go for this kid here. It's unfortunate where we ended up. I should have ramped on last turn. I think we probably just go to clear Hody here. Leaving up 1 for Giant. This probably works, yeah. If they have another Hody, they have another Hody. Okay, so they have the Dead Man's Game. Okay. Banish. 8 here. Unfortunately, we do get banished. And then 8 is going to be enough. Yep. This is a tough matchup. They're very aggressive, and having the opposing banish and all of the access to these resting events is real tough on us. Especially in this blocker heavy build. But good games to our opponent. On to the next one. Alright, for our final game for this video, we have Boa. They've chosen to go second. I think I need a little bit more in this hand. Yeah, we're going to have to just take this one. I think we probably go swing 5, Brûlé, pitch Brûlé, play Sol. Okay, they did whiff on that, which is helpful for us. So we're going to swing, pitch, you. They probably give us a card here. And then we play Sol. We're going to definitely take some swings here. Teach, yeah, especially with a teach. Yep, I'm going to have to take that one. Do I use this trigger? I think I actually am. I'm going to trash KO that, and I do get the card draw off of it, which is great. Okay. We're gonna just attack here. We're not gonna use leader ability. Okay, and then we're going to Robin. Opponent down on 3 or 4 cards. Boa, yeah, that's a pretty big one. That probably means they're gonna try to have a. I'm gonna take because I need cards. Ooh, got a nice trigger here. Here I'm expecting a Gravity Blade, so I think it's probably even correct to swing with my guys here. So always swing with your leader first if you're not trying to get anything else. They're not countering, which is a good sign for us. Let's get them with both of these, and then we're gonna pitch. I think I'm gonna just rely on these giants here. If they do have Gravity Blade, they only get to get rid of one of my guys, because this has that nice buff on it for the turn. A 7. Yeah, we're just gonna let that one go. I expect an 8 here, and then 6 is not enough to get Jozu. Okay, interesting. How do we want to play this? I think it's going to be a Sanji angle, and we go at board. Let's see how much that leaves me with 3 Dawn left. I can do 7, 7, 7 at this Jozu and really apply pressure here. Which I think that makes sense. Use card action. 0 additional Dawn. We're gonna go here. Alternatively, I could go 8, 8. Yeah, so let's try that. I think that that's better. We're not gonna trash anything here. All right. So, and then we can go 7 and 9. Yeah, let's go 7 here. And then, yeah, and then we can go 9. And I think this is the best way to get a body off the board here, because I think we probably get this one. Yeah, there we go. And then we have Giant here to put us in a pretty good spot. Heroes bounces our blocker. We get a card off of it. A 5 is pretty easy. Use this Robin. Law blocker. An 8 here. I think it's probably correct to use the Giant. And we can get rid of this Sol now. Giving ourselves that and resolve. Here. This is a pretty easy swing here. Okay. They only have 2 cards. If we go... yeah, I think it's probably correct to pressure board here. Alright, they only have 1 card. Just a single blocker is probably... No, they have the block. So we just go 8 just to get the block off the field, if we can. Yeah. And then we go blocker, blocker. Okay. And then we do blocker, blocker, and we have Giant. 10 drop Kaido. Wow. That was not one I expected. A 5. You can have the Brûlée. 8. We'll give you Giant. Nine there. We go 3. Okay. I think in this spot it's probably correct to start just going for life here. We have 2 life. We don't have Giant access to Giant here. Let's see how they play this though. Okay. They have 1 card. We can do Nami, but it won't KO. We can do Usohachi, clear 2 more bodies. Because if we do Usohachi, we can rest this. Then we have 5 left to work with. No, 6 left to work with. Yeah, we can definitely clear both of those bodies. So let's do Usohachi. And then... let's see. 3 and 3 is 10 and 10. So the correct card to get off the field is the Kairos here. Let's see if they give us the 2K here. They don't. And then we get to actually take this one off. Yeah. Because we don't have the giant to hold up. There is a small chance we could lose here. Not particularly likely. But it's non-zero. 9. Fortunately, we do have to let it go. Crocodile. Bounce the thing to draw a card, then play it back out. 12. Yeah, we're going to have to take here. Yeah, let's use this trigger. We're going to pitch you to KO you. Okay, we got a giant. That's helpful on a future turn here. How do we play this? I think we probably... I think the kid is better because it lets us dig more. We get to trash there. Let's do 5 here. And then 7 here. Okay, they go to 0 life. And then we can pitch you. Seven. That's a 2 and a 1. Okay. Yeah, we have this trigger blocker here. Luffy. Unfortunately, no block. Okay, they didn't even let me see my cards because it's possible. Oh no, there's a Sanji on top, so we do get there in the end. So definitely a very close one. Finding the giant when I need, or well, no, I already had the giant. It was finding. Or having our opponent pop us up to hand was the big thing here. But good game to our opponent, and let's go ahead and do a wrap up. All right, wrapping up. I was actually quite pleased with this deck. We didn't face any of the top meta decks here. I don't think that you're particularly well favored into Green Zoro in particular. I think with the Namis and Sanjis, there may be a world where you can do okay into Rayleigh, but it's going to be a tough one. Kuma's obviously great in the Rayleigh matchup, so if you can take second from them and get down some early bodies so that you can pressure their searchers without just giving them free value, I think that's probably pretty good. What else might I change here? There may be room to test some different removal. Nami's great because it's searchable, but it's not. It needing the trigger card makes it a little awkward sometimes. The Luffy I never got a chance to use, so there's a world where you switch this for maybe something like the Katakuri. And actually, the more I think about it, the more that's probably correct. And then another card that is important if you want to do specifically good against Zoro would be the Nanikabuda arrow, which lets you debuff Zoro to protect some of your bodies. Like if they want to swing at Robin with an 8, you get to Nanikabuda arrow to protect it, and then you only need a 1k to get out of the swing at life. So definitely some good ability there. I will say, because you often have to take a little bit of life because you're ramping, this Nanikabuda arrow is really the best at the end of the game against Zoro rather than protecting an early body. Once Robin, for example, has already hit the field, you've already gotten the value out of it. Sanji can't be rested, and Kuma gives you the extra life. So a lot of your early mid-game bodies, they might want to Tashigi, are ones that aren't too big of a deal. The card that you really need to worry about is the what's it called? The Quina. One of the things that Robin historically has issues with is cards that tap themselves and become pseudo blockers, because you frequently end up in a board state where you can't, you don't really want to devote your banish attack to those. So if your opponent has those and forces you into attacking them instead of their life, it can be really detrimental. And I guess one last card I want to mention specifically for the Straw Hat build would be the 6-drop Zoro. This is the promo Zoro that has Banish itself, just as ways to keep the pressure on your opponent's life. If you were adding it to the deck, I would probably consider shaving a Sanji or two, just because you can't shave too much in the way of trigger bodies. If you're going to continue playing Nami, that would be another card you could swap it with, is the Namis, just to reduce your need on triggers. But I actually was quite pleased with the way this deck seemed to play out, and I look forward to trying out some more. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys in the next video.